Okay, I'm here with Brock Lesnar. Let's start by talking about this fight coming up. You're fighting in front of your hometown crowd. Do you consider that an advantage or a disadvantage, given all the distractions? I know you seem to enjoy playing the villain role, and as nice it is to fight in front of friends and family, would you prefer to fight in front of a hostile crowd?
For me, at this point in my career, it doesn't matter, But it is very. I'm excited about the opportunity to bring the UFC to Minneapolis. But yeah, definitely, it's nice that I don't have to get on the airplane, and
Yeah.
I think the fans are going to appreciate it as well. This is the first time that Minnesota is going to see this huge event, and very excited. The state of Minnesota has been very, very, very kind to me, and I appreciate that. So this gives them the opportunity to have a front row seat and not to have to spend a lot of money for travel. If you wanted to go see a show, and my last fight was in Las Vegas, and it's tough for the way the economy is right now, and so I mean it ain't exactly cheap. So you got to pay for a ticket and bring some beer money and have a good time.
How many family and friends are you expecting?
Well, I don't know. My wife handles that.
Okay. And how has your training altered since you found out you'd be fighting Keith Haring rather than Mark Holman?
Well, it trained significantly, or it changed significantly because it's two different guys.
Yeah.
So Heath is a stand-up guy, and he's a well-rounded cat, but I had to bring in some different guys to train with.
And I know he's relatively close to your size, and he's got 43 professional fights compared to your two. Does the experience factor concern you? And what do you feel is the key to winning this fight?
No, the experience factor doesn't concern me at all. I'm up and coming, and I've got nothing really to lose. He's got everything to lose. He's got 40 fights, and he's got his his pride, pretty much.
Sure.
To lose to a guy that's got 2 fights and who's 1-1. For me, my back's up against the wall as well. If I need to win this fight to keep going for the title that I want to retain and hold.
And I know there were a lot of your former WWE coworkers at the last fight. And Vince McMahon wasn't among them. And I'm just wondering if you had any contact with Vince since you left the WWE.
I haven't. I've talked to a few different people, and I've talked to Vince since I've left the WWE, but it hasn't been very recently. At one time, we had some discussions of me coming back, and I think that's the last time that I've chatted with him.
Approximately when was that?
Oh, that wasn't too far after I left.
Okay.
But no, it would be nice to chat with him, and just I don't have any hard feelings towards him. I enjoyed my time with the company. There was just certain things that I didn't enjoy.
Travel.
Yeah, just other things. We it's business. We didn't agree on a couple of things, and I'm here and he's there.
Sure. And how would you compare the personalities of Dana White and Vince McMahon? Are there some similarities, or?
Well, they're both, definitely they're both pioneers. I think they share some of the same traits as wanting to become, and Vince probably has became the best, and Dana is a little premature on it yet, but I think he is, and he is right now, and they will be. The company will. They are.
Absolutely.
So it's. But I think you take any top businessman, and they'll all have some similar characteristics, but definitely not the same people. No.
Okay. And you were a natural at pro wrestling, both in the ring and behind the mic. Some of the things you've said since you left WWE indicate that you were miserable a lot of the time, at least towards the end that you were there. And you obviously had a passion for it at one time. I mean, you don't become as good as you were without having some sort of passion for it, no matter how natural you were. I mean, what really changed?
Well, I lived and breathed, I guess, the entertainment, the mere fact of becoming a pro wrestler. I lived it, and I wanted to be one. And it just, I was sitting in the locker room one day, and I've said this before, looked around at a number of different guys that had been in business for a long time, and I realized I did not want to become like those guys.
Sure.
You know.
What was it about them? You probably don't want to name names, but what was it? What characteristics was it that?
Well, my life. I wanted more than just to be a pro wrestler.
Sure.
There's more to life than just being a wrestler, and you had to live that.
I'll see you in about 3 or 4
Thanks,
weeks.
thank
All right,
you.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Take care.
There was more to it than just, but you had to live, breathe,
Yeah.
pro wrestling, and that's all these people had in their lives. That's it. And at the end of the day, I'm a family guy, salt of the earth kind of guy, and I wanted more than that.
That's cool. And I mean, were there some political things that bothered you?
It wasn't even that. It was just when you work for a company like that, you have to be there, and it's part of the job. It's part of the job of being visible, being a celebrity, being on the road, traveling. That's part of the deal, and it just didn't appeal to me anymore.
And your last match with WWE, it was I mean, you guys were booed. I mean, without question. I mean, were you bitter at all about that? And
No, I still got paid.
yeah, I mean, do you regret the way you went out at all?
No, not at all. I mean, I can't change how people think about me. I mean, I can just, especially in that aspect. I couldn't. We had a match. Everybody knew the outcome of. I wasn't going to be around. Bill wasn't
Right.
going to be around. Steve wasn't going to be around. So why should these fans put any time into us in the ring?